This is not an ordinary snake. A snake that kills without being seen is not born in the bush.
Nobody noticed the first death. That was how it always began in Adeke village, quietly, like a pot cracking on low fire. They only noticed when the second man died, stiff and blue, his mouth open as if he was about to shout a warning but arrived too late. By the third death, people stopped sleeping with both eyes closed, and by the fourth, they started whispering one name, Mama Mnena. Long before fear took root, Adeke was a peaceful village sitting between thick forest and red earth roads. Goats roamed freely. Children chased lizards after sunset. Drums spoke louder than anger. It was the kind of place where elders said, when the moon is full, even the blind can walk without fear. Mama Mnena had not always been feared. She was once a beautiful woman with soft laughter and a husband called Okore, a strong hunter whose traps never returned empty. For many seasons, they lived quietly at the edge of the village, close to the forest, close to silence. Then one night, Okore went hunting and did not return. They found his body 2 days later, swollen and broken, near the river bank. No animal bite, no wound from a blade, just fear frozen on his face. People said it was spirits. Others said it was enemies. Mama Mnena said nothing. She buried her husband alone. From that day, she changed. She stopped attending moonlight gatherings. She stopped greeting people properly. Her laughter dried up like a river in Hamatan. She wore black for too long, longer than custom allowed. And then the deaths began. The first victim was Ifeanyi, a palm wine tapper. They found him at the foot of a tree before dawn. His body was twisted unnaturally, eyes bulging, foam around his mouth. The elders said it was a snake bite, but there were no tracks, no marks, no broken ribs. The second was Chukwudi, a night guard. He died beside the village shrine, his lantern still burning. His skin had turned dark, almost black, as if death roasted him from inside. The third was Ngozi, a young woman fetching water before sunrise. Her basket floated empty in the stream. Her body lay nearby, stiff and cold. By then, fear walked openly in Adeke. Mothers pulled children indoors before dusk. Men sharpened machetes without knowing what they were preparing for. Dogs howled at night and refused to follow their owners into the bush. Then someone remembered something. I saw a snake, an old woman whispered, a very big one. Another said, I heard hissing near Mama Mnena's compound. Another added, each person who died passed close to her house. That was when the proverb returned to everyone's mind. When a goat dies in the homestead, do not accuse the bush without looking inside the house. Mama Mnena lived alone. Her compound sat where the forest began, shaded by tall Iroko trees. Nobody visited her anymore. When she walked to the market, conversations died like fire under rain. She noticed, she said nothing. But at night, strange things happened. Some villagers swore they saw a long black shadow move from her hut into the bush. Others claimed to hear soft singing, low, mournful, not quite human. Children dreamt of snakes with human eyes. The elders called a meeting. At the center sat Padibia, the oldest man in the village. His beard was white like ash, and his eyes had seen too many secrets. He said, this is not an ordinary snake. A snake that kills without being seen is not born in the bush. Silence followed. Then someone spoke the fear aloud. It belongs to the widow. Gasps followed. Fear agreed. Padibia raised his staff. Remember, he warned, The mouth that speaks carelessly invites death to sit beside it. Still, they could not ignore the signs. They decided to watch Mama Mnena. 3 nights later, Obasi, a young hunter, volunteered to keep watch. He hid behind thick bushes near Mama Mnena's compound, holding his breath, gripping his spear. The moon climbed high. Then the hut door opened. Mama Mnena stepped out barefoot, carrying a clay pot. She wore black, her hair loose. She knelt and placed the pot on the ground. She whispered words Obasi could not understand. The ground moved. From beneath the hut, something slid out. A snake. Not ordinary. Long as a canoe, scales black and shiny like oil, eyes glowing faintly red. Obasi froze. The snake raised his head and Mama Mnena touched it gently. "My child," she whispered. The snake hissed softly, not angrily, but affectionately. Obasi felt his heart try to escape his chest. Then Mama Mnena spoke again, her voice breaking. "They took him from me," she said. "Bring me justice." The snake slid into the bush. Obasi ran. By morning, the whole village knew. Panic exploded like dry firewood. Men wanted to burn her hut. Women wanted her driven away. Children cried. Padibia stopped them. "We must know the truth," he said, "before blood demands more blood." They summoned Mama Mnena. She came without resistance. She stood before the villagers, thin, tired, eyes deep with sorrow. They accused her. She did not deny it. "Yes," she said calmly, "the snake is mine." People screamed. She raised her hand. "Listen," she said, "because the dead do not defend themselves." Silence fell. Mama Mnena told her story. After her husband died, she searched for answers. She went to healers, to priests, to the forest. She discovered the truth. Okore had been killed by jealous men who wanted his hunting grounds. She went mad with grief. In her madness, she entered the deep forest and met an ancient spirit, a snake older than the village itself. It offered her power, protection, revenge. She accepted. The snake became bound to her, feeding on anger, obeying her pain. "But I did not command it to kill the innocent," she said, tears falling. "Once anger grows teeth, it no longer listens." The villagers trembled. Padibia sighed deeply. "When you invite fire to cook your food, do not complain when it burns your house." That night, the snake returned, angrier, hungry, uncontrolled. It slithered into the village, striking wildly. People screamed, dogs fled, fire torches fell. Mama Mnena ran towards it. "Stop," she cried. The snake reared, its eyes blazing. For the first time, it did not obey. Mama Mnena understood. Power had finished feeding. Now it wanted more. She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around the snake. "Take me," she whispered. "Let them go." The snake struck. Both fell. By morning, Mama Mnena was dead. The snake was gone. No one died after that. Grass grew over her hut. The forest swallowed the path. But till today, elders warn children, do not let grief turn your heart into a shrine for evil. And sometimes, when the moon is dark and the forest is quiet, villagers swear they hear hissing, not of anger, but of sorrow, reminding them that some pains, once fed, never truly leave.